Hey, and thanks for joining me for the WeightCare podcast. Conversations about a new era of weight management and GLP-1 weight loss medications. I'm Sharon Polsky, your host, and today I have an action-packed show for you. I'm super excited about this one. I know I say that all the time, but I am really super excited about this one. Today I have Pete McCall. And Pete wrote a book called Ageless Intensity. And his whole concept is about using strength training for longevity. And this is so timely when we're talking about GLP-1s because they get this bad reputation for muscle wasting, which all low calorie or calorie restrictive diets have a propensity to drop lean muscle mass. And so this isn't really GLP-1 specific. It's all of these diets that cause that. So GLP-1s are getting a bad reputation about everything right now, and it's really unfounded. But I am a very, very strong believer in building muscle for longevity. And I coach our GLP-1 weight loss patients with this. And so I think Pete McCall is such a great person to have this conversation with because he is an expert at strength training for longevity. Now, I know saying strength training is super, super intimidating to GLP-1 patients because a lot of you have never even worked out a day in your lives. You haven't even walked, and that's okay. I'm going to talk to Pete about that, and I'm going to talk to him about tricks and tips and hacks to make weightlifting less intimidating. We're also going to talk about dispelling some of those myths about weightlifting, like women get bulky if they weight train. So all of that is going to be part of this show today. And I am super, super excited to have Pete on the show. He comes from the health and wellness education industry. And so he's been one of the top educators for many, many years. And that's how I know him. So I am super excited because Pete is going to be joining us next. So I am so excited to have Pete McCall on the show today. And like I said, he is an expert at strength training. Pete, tell us about yourself.
Well, first of all, Sharon, thanks for having me on. And I want to thank to everybody out there listening. I know I'm coming into your ears right now, and so I want to thank you for the time and attention. But my background, Sharon, like a lot of us, I'm a personal trainer. I still qualify as a personal trainer or identify as a personal trainer. That'll never change. But over the years, I evolved from training one-on-one clients. I still do a little bit of that, but I mainly educate personal trainers, and I also write books. I've written a lot of articles. I turn the articles into books. But what I've done is I've worked with the personal training certifications to help write their curriculum.
Yeah, and that's really why I wanted to have you on the show, because I know how much background you have and education you have, and that you're an educator. And really, the reason why we do this WeightCare podcast is just simply to educate people. So I wanted to have you on so we could really talk about all these benefits of strength training.
Well, and that's so important, right? I mean, because what we're seeing right now, and I know so many people focus on weight loss and they focus on, I want to lose weight. But if they're starting to take a drug like a GLP-1 agonist, some of that weight loss is going to be coming from muscle mass. And we want to try to preserve, as we age, we need to preserve as much muscle mass as possible.
But, how do we get these 45-year-old perimenopausal, menopausal women that are so intimidated? How do we just get a set of 5-pound hand weights in their hands so then they do have more confidence to carry them into those gyms?
We now have a population of people in their 60s and 70s who've been exercising throughout their lifespan. And that really is changing. And that's another message I want to say to the audience that now is you might be in your 40s or 50s and you might be, 100 pounds, 150 pounds overweight. But if you're 45, 48, 50 years old, you have another 25 to 30 years ahead of you.
At least 25 to 30 means people are living into their 90s now.
At least, and I'm saying at least, you have at least another 25 to 30 years ahead of you. So don't think that starting now is too late. If you're in your 40s, late 40s, early 50s, now is the time to start because you want to try to get, and look, to anybody over the age of 35 or 40, forget about having a beach body. I want to be very specific about that.
Yeah, I agree.
Forget about having a beach body. use exercise to manage your health and manage the aging process.
I always say
That's what
improve the
exercise
quality of your
allows
life
us to
moving
do.
forward. And that was why I got into this
Yeah.
business, was because I had two overweight parents. My mother very, very much suffered from her weight, and I didn't want to suffer like that. And I wanted to help people not suffer. But, yes, there's all this information out there and it's too much information, but it really all boils down to 5 fundamentals, which is sleep, stress management, hydration, nutrition, and exercise. Some cardiovascular to improve, to make sure your heart and your lungs are functioning well, and then strength training. And if we could just focus on those 5 fundamentals, even on a very low level, every single one of those things on a very low level, you would see vast improvements in people's health and their longevity.
Well, I'm of the firm belief. I mean, you're absolutely right. I am of the firm belief that if people would walk 15 to 20 minutes a day and at least and do the ACSM minimums, or do the President's Fitness Guide minimums of doing one like full body strength circuit, like for the major muscle groups, 3 times a week. So you just need to do one
Yeah.
set per body part to a point of fatigue 3 times per week. You walk 15, 20 minutes a day. That really is not a lot of time investment. Now, you're not going to be a supermodel on a competition stage, but your health, the quality of your health and the quality of your life will improve significantly, absolutely significantly. And that just is walk 15 to 20 minutes a day, do strength training 3 times a week. And I think people will be blown away. It's like, wow, I'm feeling so much better. And this is all I need to do. I mean,
Yeah, I say that too. Like, I built an entire business around 30-minute fitness classes, and we have weights and we have cardio. And I built a business that was open for more than 20 years just around that fast total body workout. And people did lose weight and they looked great. But how do we get the GLP-1 patient that is significantly overweight, has never picked up a weight before? How do we get them just to pick up their first weight?
That's just start meeting them where they are. I mean, that just is do what you can do. I mean,
Yeah.
that really is anything I've ever said to anybody about starting an exercise program. Do what you can do. Let's start where you are, and you'll get better. Every day you're going to do one more step. Every day you're going to do one more rep. Every day you're going to pick up one weight that's a little heavier. But even if you're 150 pounds, 200 pounds overweight, go for a walk around the block. Do a wall sit. I mean,
I always say do a walk around the block, but grab like some 5-pound hand weights, have them delivered to your house. You can buy them. They'll be delivered in 24 hours. We all know who that is. And so just grab a set of 5-pound hand weights and go for a 15-minute walk after dinner every night. And then you're absolutely right. Do some wall squats, do some wall push-ups, or one of my absolute favorite hacks is wall push-ups for people. And then if you can't squat, stand up and sit down. Stand up from a chair, sit down in a chair, stand up in a chair. That's a squat. And those are like your basic fundamentals to get you started.
Or, I mean, the thing about with going for a walk is get a backpack, put a few books in it, and now you're rucking. I mean, and that's been that, carrying a backpack, if you have 10, 12, 15 pounds in there, you're going to burn a few extra calories and you're going to get some strength benefit out of it. So hand weight or a backpack, or no, you're absolutely right. And that really is, it sounds, people are like, oh, that's, they might hear, if I can't do an hour, then I'm not going to do anything at all.
I hear that all the time. If I can't do an hour, I'm not going to do anything at all. People say to me, if I can't take 2 classes at your fitness studio, I don't want to come. I'm like, the whole reason we have 25, 30-minute classes is so you do something. So on the days that you have more time, do an hour and a half. The days that you have less time, I want you to go for a 15-minute walk post meal. So you're using some of that insulin, and put those hand weights in your hands, and let's just do something every day. I always call it 2s. Never skip 2 days in a row of exercise. So you got to do something, never skipping 2 days in a row.
No, I mean, I like that. For years, I've always said a little bit of something is better than a lot of nothing. And I know that probably you're probably like me, when even if you get really busy, and your schedule gets out of control, I'll take the stairs. I mean, I've been known to walk
I take the stairs and I park really far away from the front door. So at least I get some steps in.
And then that's what I mean. And it's just like, I know that sounds a little corny, but those of us that live in the fitness industry, we do this. I mean, this is how we get our extra steps in, because I love parking far away from the door, because it makes it easier to get out of the parking lot, and you get
That's true too.
Walking. I mean, you're closer to the exits, you get a few minutes of walking. But when I've stayed at hotels, and and I need some extra exercise, I'll get off 10 or 15 floors below my floor, or just walk up to my floor. and that's my workout for the day. It might not be a great workout, but climbing up 15 sets of stairs is going to be a lot better than doing nothing. And
Climbing up one set of stairs would be better than doing nothing.
and that's why I say, if you're in your 40s or 50s now, start exercising now. I mean, the research shows that we can gain muscle in our 70s and 80s, but don't wait for that. Don't wait for it and go, shoot, I should have started. Start now. Do something now. And now, I mean, this is one of the best times to start joining the gym because the fitness industry is booming. I mean,
there's so much access to information now. And I will say this: if you can't afford a gym, YouTube is an incredible tool. You're not going to get hurt picking up a pair of 5-pound weights and doing some exercises off of YouTube. If you're sore the next day, you're not injured. You're just sore, and that's a good thing. And the last thing I think that people don't understand is that you have to feel discomfort to change your body. If you're always comfortable, your body will never change. And so I always say to my ladies, if they take a break every time they're tired, their body is never going to get pushed enough. So I always tell people, time it. I want you to do 5 minutes of something or 4 minutes of something, or last time you could only do 2 minutes, the next time you're going to do 3 minutes of a bicep curl. And I want you to always challenge yourself a little bit because you can't stay in that comfort zone. It's not going to, your body just won't change if you do that.
No, I mean, we always need, discomfort creates change. That could be emotional. That could be
I know, but human beings do not like to be uncomfortable. So Pete, if you have one thing to tell GLP-1 weight loss patients, because that's who our audience is, if you had one thing, one word of advice to tell them right here, right now, what would it be?
Consistency. Always strength train, be consistent with strength training. You don't need to do 5 days a week. 3 days a week is good, but be consistent with the 3 days a week.
Week after week, month after month, year after year for the rest of their lives.
Well, especially when going through the phase of the GLP-1, because we talked about this the other day, Sharon, is your body is changing how it metabolizes and processes carbohydrates. Carbohydrates help make up muscle mass. Carbohydrates are stored in muscle along with water, stored in muscle cells along with water, and that's one way we get muscle volume. So if we start manipulating, we start taking a GLP-1 and we start changing how the body metabolizes and processes carbohydrates, we need to pay extra special attention to strength training, because strength training is the mode of exercise that is most specific to muscle health and muscle function. And so that is where anybody who's going to be taking a GLP-1, considering taking it on a GLP-1, strength train, maintain that muscle mass and maintain your muscle function. It's critical for long-term success on the drug.
Consistency and strength training. I love it, Pete. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to post information about where people can get your books down below. And I want to thank you for coming and joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Certainly. No, thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to have a conversation and advocate for more exercise.
So that was the amazing Pete McCall. I'm going to give you some access to his books that he's written. He is a GLP-1 coach, really works with GLP-1 patients on strength training. So I'm so happy we were able to have him on the WeightCare podcast. Thanks for tuning in to our podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. We'll be back next week with another exciting episode. So until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep growing. Thanks for listening. Ciao for now. The WeightCare podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. The content shared here represents the views and opinions of the host and guests and should not be considered medical, health, or professional advice. The podcast is not a substitute for individualized care from qualified medical providers. Please consult with your healthcare provider before making decisions that may affect your health and wellness. Any statements about treatments, health protocols, or medications discussed are based on personal experience or professional expertise and may not be suitable for everyone. Always seek personalized advice from a licensed healthcare professional who understands your specific health needs.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.